Hello, this is Ron with Rising Sun Properties. We are back from the holiday. We had a holiday here in Japan yesterday, so took some time off during the weekend, but back to making some videos and showing some properties. So we are in Osaka and viewed a few properties there in the 5 to 8 million yen range. Here's the first property right on the corner. Nice quiet neighborhood, kind of up on a hill. No parking in this particular property, but here it is. 6.8 million yen, 3-story 4 LDK, 82 square meters, built in 1994, and it's a bit of a walk from the closest station, 26 minutes to Higashi Station. So if you're looking to purchase property like this that's far away, you might want to have a place that has parking. Actually, sorry, this one does have a garage, but it's a little bit small. If you got a really small K car, you might be able to fit it in there. We'll see the garage later. Sorry, I forgot about that. Been viewing a lot of properties recently. Here is the Genkan entrance area. This home looked like it was in pretty good condition, but all the wallpaper looked to be, I don't know if it's just dated or nicotine stained, but you can see even right there on the door. Might just be age. It didn't have any kind of weird, at least cigarette smell. It does have that bit of a stagnant air smell that you can sense in some of these older homes, but once it's lived in and aired out, I think it would be fine. There's the bathroom, and here is the kitchen with the bathtub off to the left. So it does have some space. Floors seem to be pretty solid. Didn't feel any soft parts or anything like that on the floor, so that's a good sign. It is built in 1994, so kind of a newer build for some of the properties that we do look at, so hopefully it would be in good condition overall. Here's the kitchen, 3-stove burner. Got a window off to the front there by the bath area. It's a spot for your air con, so it is drilled, the hole's drilled there, and it's just ready to be installed. And just everything just has this tint to it. Again, I don't know if it's from smoking or what, but obviously, in here it doesn't look as bad as it did in the kitchen, so might be cigarette smoke. But all that can be taken care of when you replace the wallpaper. Here's the bathroom sink and the bathtub area. It's got that baby blue going on. So a home like this could be, I'm not sure what I was, there's usually a place there on the floor where you can get under and look in the foundation. You'll see those in some of my videos. It's like a kind of a cooler under, you lift the lid off and it's basically a small cooler you can store drinks or vegetables in, and you can take that out and look under the foundation. This one didn't have it for some reason, so the floor must be redone because they usually all come with it in these, older homes. A lot of wear and tear, stuff like this in the house. This is the one tatami room downstairs, and it's shuttered up. Can see the proximity to the neighbor's house, which is pretty close. It's right there. Can be typical here in Japan. So you can literally, touch the home. Some of them are even closer than that, to be honest. Looking down there at the foundation, it's hard to tell, from this angle, but it looks okay. It's got siding, so it's hard to see if there's any cracking or anything going on the outside there. Got these views of the neighborhood, so plenty of natural light coming in. Open those windows, get some fresh air coming through while I'm in the home. Look out the front door and on to the second floor. the first room. Floors felt okay, not super soft. There's a place for your aircon there. Again, if you replace the wallpaper, it's going to make it feel a lot newer and fresh. So, you know, when we're looking at these properties, you're okay with the renovations. You know, a lot of people want to go the cheaper route and do the renovations. I always recommend getting something that's already renovated and spend a little bit more. But if that's what you want, that's completely fine. So when we're looking at these homes, it's, you know, you got to think, what's it going to look like once it has been renovated? So these older style kind of stucco walls you see, I'm kind of surprised to see this in a late 90s home. They're usually early 80s into 60s and 70s, but this one has it. Another place for the aircon. You can see those where the racks were there to hold up the aircon. There's a balcony there off to the right. Those shoji doors lead out to a balcony that we'll get here in a second. You see there are shutters, sliding shutters there that were on all of the doors and windows. There's another room there, so this balcony actually opens up to 2 separate rooms. Small neighborhood kind of tucked away here against the mountain. The view of the city. There's downtown Osaka, so you can see it's a little bit out of the city center, very quiet neighborhood. Couple of neighbors were down chatting. They said hello, smiled, chatted a little bit, so people are friendly, which they typically are in Kansai, to be honest. People are very open, friendly, talkative. You know, places like Nagoya, where I live, in Tokyo, people are a little bit more shut off. So it's always nice going to Kansai, the Kobe, Osaka, Kyoto area. You can see how easy those sliders slide off and get out of the way. And this must have been upgraded at some point because it's the newer style. You see it just pulls and slides, so a lot easier to open and close. And just looks a little better as well. Here's that second tatami room. Those doors right there in front of us go out to the balcony. Same green walls. Didn't see much as far as water damage or anything like that goes that I can recall. So should be okay. You know, even homes into the late 90s, early 2000s are going to have some structural issues, and then as you get older, they're going to get progressively worse. So you just have to kind of know your appetite for that. You know, these buildings have been standing for years. You would think that they're going to be standing for more years to come. I've been in homes as old as, you know, the late 1800s. Actually, I think 1885 was the oldest home I've been in. So you do want to care about the structure and foundation. If there's any major issues, you want to stay away from that. But older homes, there are going to be issues. There's going to be leaking, things going on, cracking in the structure. But in the end, you know, it should be okay for years to come. If they're standing still, then hopefully they'll still be standing another 20, 30 plus years. But always something to keep in mind when you're looking. If you can extend your budget, I always recommend doing so. However, we work with everybody's budget and criteria. Just always take a look in the corners, especially on the top floor. Make sure there's no water damage that I can see. If there is, you know, sometimes it's just in one spot. It can be fixed quite easily. Other times it could be more major and have to replace the whole roof. That's going to be a lot more expensive, of course. It does have 2 toilets. Here's the second one. This is technically a 3-story building, but the bottom is just the garage area. No water's coming out, so the water is off right now. Pretty small, but it's a second toilet. Another look down the stairs. So that's the inside of the home. And we'll pop outside around the other corner and take a look at the garage. Always go around the home, see if I can find any cracking. Always going to find something, but just how major is it? How wide is the crack? Are they separated where it looks like the building has been shifted off a little bit and leaning? Didn't see any such cracking going on in this home. Look under the awnings for water damage. If the home hasn't been lived in for a while, then there might be buildup in the gutters where it's not able to drain, and that can cause some water damage, but it also can be fixed easily with just routine maintenance. Here you can see some cracks there outside on the wall, but doesn't look too major. Just looks pretty thin and surface, but in the end the inspectors give us all the details about that. Here's the garage. So pretty small. I think I did see on maybe Google Maps there was a picture and a car parked in there, but as you can see it's pretty small. Here's a look I was able to see underneath the house, just to look at the foundation and structure, see if those wood beams are touching, and looks okay. I don't see any molding or water damage, and all the beams look like they are pretty snug against the foundation, so that's a good sign. They are on cement blocks. So a bit of an older build, you know, it looks older than 96 to me, but maybe, you know, the guy built it himself. Who knows what the story behind it is. So there you go. This is one of the roads going back out of the neighborhood. You can see it's just these small roads, which is always fun to drive on. That's why when I rent a car, I get the smallest one I possibly can, because you never know what roads you're going to get on your way there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Got a couple more videos coming. You know, always more videos coming. I post a lot of the videos I do with our clients viewing, so thank you. If you have any questions about purchasing in Japan, reach out anytime via my email or WhatsApp.